Previously on Modular.
Bradley and Quinn faced down the mighty Manticore, and won. They met the local midwife, Adabra Gwen, and realized she was much sassier than your average apothecary. Back in Phandalin, Bradley prayed with the holy woman, Sister Garele, and he put on a show for the good people in town. He met some interesting nobles, carried his drunken friend Quinn back to his bed, well, not his bed, and now has set off towards Dwarven mines in search of more adventure. Hello,
And welcome.
my name is Luke Job,
My name is Thorin George,
and this is Modular.
the podcast where we take you through the modules written by Wizards of the Coast for the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons.
That's right. These are the pre-written adventures made by the guys and gals and non-binary folks who made up Dungeons & Dragons. We didn't write them, but we're here to run them for you.
Why did we do that, Luke?
Well, Thorin, maybe you're a DM who is thinking about running a particular campaign, and you want to get a feel for how it plays out. Maybe you're a player who has already been in this particular campaign, and you want to reminisce on the good old days. Maybe you're about to go to college in Arizona, and you're feeling a little bit nervous, so you listen to this podcast to, relieve your stress.
That sounds nice. But y'all should be warned. Each of our episodes will take on a part of these pre-written adventures. That means there are going to be major spoilers for the key plot points of each story.
And Thorin, there is another warning we should offer them.
Ah, that's right, Luke. Modular is not a podcast for kids. It contains explicit language, as well as adult themes like sex, alcohol, drug use, traffic infractions, and violence. So please be aware of these not-so-kid-friendly themes.
Thorin, without further ado, let's welcome them to Modular.
And our Session 4 of Dragon of Icespire Peak.
Bradley, when you woke, it was the same as every time you've camped out on these adventures with Quinn. There was a bit of snow on you. It wasn't surprising, but a bit chilly. You and Quinn were maybe oddly quiet as the two of you packed up your camp and set off towards this mine. It's odd for the two of you. You haven't seen a dragon. You haven't heard a dragon. But you know he's out there, and you know what he represents isn't good. The two of you walk quite a bit, but eventually you begin to walk into a canyon. It slopes slowly, so at first it's flat, but you know you're following the canyon as its walls begin to rise. The canyon's rocky walls rise to a height of 80 feet. At the end of the canyon, a 20-foot-high wall of black stone has a broken gate carved into it, with one stone door hanging precariously by a hinge and the other door missing completely. Beyond this open gate, in the shadow of a great mountain to the east, lies a ruined settlement. All is quiet.
I turn to Quinn, and I look at him and I say, has that always been there? That ruined settlement?
That's what they're mining now. They've gone in, and it's maybe it was Gnomish, maybe it was Dwarvish. I can't tell you for sure, but I've heard of the settlement, and I guess they went into the mountain and they kept digging deeper.
This wasn't a recent ruin, is what you're telling me.
No, I'd say not.
Okay, well then that's all that matters.
Around you, the canyon is very bare. It's harsh land. There's no vegetation. You being a half elf, kind of, it's hard for you to imagine people living like this. Quinn looks in and he says, I don't see too good in the dark. Mr. Copper, you don't happen to have a torch on you.
I don't believe that I do.
Right.
Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna dig around through my bag, which is really me just looking through my items. I have a candle.
As you pull it out, Quinn says, that'll do. I can take that.
I mean, it's the best that I've got. I could also cast Fairy Fire on you.
No, don't want to be giving any enemies advantage on me if there's some bad guys in there.
Yes. Well, then candle it is.
Candle it is. He takes the lit candle. He says, it's lit, fam. And the two of you walk into this ruined settlement. You and Quinn kind of discuss amongst yourselves. You don't even know what the name of this is. Once again, you don't know who the original inhabitants are. If you want to make me a history check, you can, but you already kind of stated that you didn't really know much about it, so I would have you roll that with disadvantage.
That's fine. I mean, do I even know who we're looking for?
You just know you're looking for some dwarven miners to warn them about this dragon.
There's only 2 of them, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So disadvantage, I got a 6.
Yeah, nothing. Judging from the size, I mean, all the buildings are really just, it's the foundations, right? It's just like 2 foot 3 high, 2 or 3 foot high walls with, they've all been crushed, no ceilings to speak of. So you don't know how small these people were, how big they were, and there's nothing of value. Very clearly, it's been ransacked more than once.
It seems this was definitely a place for raiders to get their kicks.
At one point, but, in a way, Mr. Copper, it's kind of nice that there's nothing of value left. It means probably, we won't have to be worrying about bandits ourselves.
True. I suspect the worst thing we'll have to worry about is a misplaced bear.
Yeah, I don't like bears too much. Let's hope we don't see one. The two of you walk through this settlement, and it's eerie for you, there's no doubt. I mean, people used to live here, and it's a ghost town, but it's more than that. It's not like someone could come in here and just fix it back up in a day. You wouldn't want to take shelter here. It almost feels haunted. Eventually, you kind of round a bend to your right, go past an old well. It's just filled with rubble. You couldn't even get water out of there if you tried. And you see a partially collapsed 10-foot high wall. It separates this courtyard you're walking into, from the settlement west of it that you're walking out of. 3 heaps of rubble are piled high in this area, hewn from the canyon's back wall. A 30-foot high temple facade features steps rising to a stone platform. Cut into this facade is a 10-foot high open doorway, flanked by crumbling, life-size granite statues of cloaked dwarves. Evil grins can be seen on their weather-worn faces. So you're essentially walking into...
So life-size, they're still like 4 foot, right?
The statues?
Yeah. They're like the size of a dwarf in real life, is what you're saying.
Life-size granite statues, yeah. Yeah, they're about 4 foot tall.
Okay.
But they kind of are sitting on either side of this door. So you're essentially just at, it's a temple underground. So you're just in the parking lot of this church, essentially. Off to the side, you hear some ramblings. One person says, "Who goes there?"
Bradley Copper, at your service. I call back.
Copper. Make me a perception check. You hear some whispering.
Perception. That's a +4. That is 22.
These guys, one of them says, do you think these are the fellas that, we sent for from the miners' exchange, the Zentarum? And the other one says, I'm not sure. We could just ask them. I mean, they're probably punks. We could kick their asses if we needed. Do you call out?
I say, pardon me, we're not punks. Are you two dwarves by chance?
They walk towards you. You have dark vision as a half-elf.
Yeah.
And Quinn can kind of see them in the candlelight. They are, in fact, dwarves, and they do look like miners. One of them is, has this, like, kind of military haircut. His arms are huge, just absolutely swollen. The whole dude is rippled with muscle. The other is the exact opposite. He's balding. He's kind of chunky, saggy, and the saggy one kind of calls out and says, "My name's Dazzlin, and this is my twin brother Norbus." And Norbus goes, my name is Norbus. Good to meet you. Are you sent from the Zentarum?
No. We were sent by the master of Phandalin to come get you to come back to town. There's a dragon around.
They kind of look at each other, and Dazzlin says, Dragon? That's Christopher Walken, Jesus.
Dragon!
Dragon? I can't believe it. He says, Norbus, are you hearing this? I mean, okay, dragon, not so good. Well, you came from Phandalin, but, I mean, we already sent for them, but not for you two to bring us back because of a dragon. What? No, we have a problem of our own. I need you to make me 2 history checks, Bradley. One is about the word Zentarum. The other
do you need these both to be disadvantaged again?
No.
Okay. First history check is going to be a dirty 20.
Okay.
Right, because I get a +3. And the second history check is going to be a 10.
Okay. I'll say you meet the DCs for both. So the miners' exchange, what they're talking about, is in Phandalin. You've walked past it. You haven't gone inside. So they've obviously sent word to Phandalin, just not to Harbin Wester. And they're asking for people from the Zentarum, which is kind of a shady organization, actually. There are all sorts of guilds and factions within Faerun. The Zentarum...
the Zentarum?
The Zentarum, yeah, they are kind of... They're not evil, per se. You know them to be more so greedy and definitely shady. Not to be trusted, necessarily.
Yeah.
Norbus speaks up and he says, Listen, if you're not from the Zentarum, I mean, we haven't even sent word for the Stone Cold Reavers yet, but we need someone, okay? If you're messengers, then maybe you can't do it, but we have some ochres, some jellies within the mine, and they need to be taken care of. We can't do any work in there, so if you could go in there, kill the jellies for us, then maybe we could pay you something. I don't know.
What are you two doing in this mine anyway? You're the only two here.
So, 2 things. I'll have them answer that question, and then you're going to make some more checks for me. Dazzlin says, well, yeah, we're clearing out the mine. I mean, that's why we're here. There's all sorts of dwarven artifacts here. People from our bloodline that are just happen to be long lost and gone. But there's a lot of wealth to be made here, and we are prospectors. I mean, we're here for a reason to make some money. And then Norbert just goes, money. So you heard them also say the words Stone Cold Reavers. What I need from you is a perception check and another history check.
Okay. A lot of rolls at the beginning of this one.
This is a history.
Probably the most rolls we've had, and I think the rolls that I'm doing right now equate to all of the rolls that I've done previously. So that's gonna be. I'm gonna say that's my perception. That's a 9.
Okay.
And then the history is going to be a 13.
Okay. With a 9 perception, you notice nothing. With a 13 history, you have heard maybe telltale of the Stone Cold Reavers. Nothing like the Zentarum. The Zentarum are nationwide organization.
Yeah.
They're like the Lord's Alliance and the Harpers are two other factions that you know of that help
I know
defeat...
of the Harpers, like Thorin knows of the Harpers.
Right.
From a different campaign.
Okay, got you. Well, Bradley knows of the Harpers and the Lord's Alliance only that they're good guys, because you know they're good guys because they helped defeat Tiamat, which you know, was going to like ruin the world. The Zentarum, you just know, aren't as good of guys. Stone Cold Reavers, you might have heard that name before. You can't really tell. Definitely not on the tier of the other three.
Yeah.
And the 9 perception check, gets you nothing.
Well,
go ahead, please.
If you're... Look, why don't you come back with us to Phandalin? And then once you're there, you can go to the Miners' Guild, the Miners' Bunkhouse or whatever, and ask them for, backup to come with you, so that you're not just stuck out here waiting for these ochre jellies to, dissolve your flesh while you sleep. And that way you can have more people come take out these ochre jellies. Then, you get what I'm saying?
No, I completely get that, Charlie. Sorry, your name's not Charlie. Is your name Charlie?
No, my name is Bradley. Bradley Corpa.
Bradley. I get that, Bradley. Here's my counteroffer. That's a long walk for the two of us. We want to get to work as soon as possible. You, I see there you have a weapon on your hip. Your friend, the small child, man. Hey, fuck you. No, what? Oh my god. They bicker for a moment. You two look very capable. These jellies need taking care of right here, right now. And we can offer you something that, your pal back in Phandalin, old Harbin Wester, that fat fuck, we can offer you something that he can't, which is some pretty great sending stones. And Norbus kind of glares at Dazzle and says, we don't have that many sending stones. You can't just give those away. Shut up. Listen. Do you know what sending stones are, Mr. Bradley?
I want to say their name gives away their purpose, but please describe them to me.
Sending stones come in pairs, with each smooth stone carved to match the other, so the pairing is easily recognized. While you touch one stone, you can use an action to cast the sending spell from it. The target is the bearer of the other stone, so essentially you can telepathically communicate while you're holding a stone and your friend is holding the other.
Is there a range?
Range, I'm guessing sending has a range. I'm going to say 100 feet. I don't know. Decent distance, and perfect for a pair of adventurers.
Well, we are adventurers. But I'm not certain we have anything that could harm an ochre jelly.
Mr. Copper...
They're made out of... They're slime, aren't they?
Right, well, you can punch slime to a pulp. At least, if you can't, I'll be the first to do it. But also, Mr. Copper, you've got magic.
I guess. I just don't... nothing that I have prepared today is all that effective.
Well...
But it doesn't matter. We can take them on. We could use some sending stones. Telepathic communication would greatly benefit us, especially if you want to get off some good quips in battle.
Well, not just that, Mr. Copper. Quinn pulls you to the side. These two guys are here to find dwarven relics, which they say are worth a lot of money. If we go in there, we could find some nice shiny objects for ourselves,
Ah, yes. That makes perfect sense.
Right, so let's take this job on.
All right, I agree with that. I have no qualms with this whatsoever.
Quinn looks to them both and kind of happily says, "You got it. We'll take the job." The two of you kind of ready yourselves. You've never fought a jelly before. But you've killed a mimic and you've killed a manicore, and you're starting to turn into some grade A monster hunters.
Yeah, an ochre jelly can't be too hard, right?
Yeah. There's a small hallway that kind of leads into this temple. It's just a foyer, however you pronounce it. It's quite dusty. You walk through one set of double doors that are held open, and there's another set of double doors you're going to walk through. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Perception, I get a +4 to that. I think that's the third time I've stated that this episode. That is 21.
Whew. So on your left, there is what was once a room that's now just absolutely filled with rubble. You're not going to be able to go in there. To your right, it looks like there's just a wall, but with a 21 perception, Bradley Copper feels a slight breeze from this wall.
I think there's a hidden passage there.
Wow, Mr. Copper.
Go check it out.
Okay, why? You think it's trapped or something?
Well, not necessarily trapped, but say there's a weight pressure plate. You're less likely to set off than I am.
All right. He goes up to the wall, kind of pushes against it, and you hear a as it slides backwards, and then he's able to push it to the side, and you have found a secret tunnel. Well, Mr. Copper, now there's a giant temple to walk into and a secret tunnel. I mean, which way you want to go?
I say let's take the secret tunnel first.
He says, perfect. I'm also going to say, just because it doesn't really make much sense, that Dazzlin and Norbus had a torch that they lent to Quinn.
Yeah,
because
him holding this can. I mean, the candle only lasts for an hour anyway. So
it's going to be melting
we'd
down.
be like halfway through the dungeon, and he'd be SOL, you know.
Yeah. This is a very skinny secret tunnel. Quinn says, you want to lead or you want me to?
I'll go ahead and lead, since I have dark vision. Or since
Perfect.
I can see in the dark.
Yeah, what's dark vision? Who would word it that way? The two of you walk into this narrow tunnel. It's pretty low. The ceilings are pretty low. So you're feeling cramped quite quickly. You kind of round the bend of this tunnel, and just standing there, almost horrifyingly, is this black mass of goo, about 4 foot wide and 4 foot tall. It's a perfect cube of just this disgusting black ichor. Go ahead and roll initiative.
Disgusting. I got a 5 for my initiative.
All right, Quinn got a 12, but he's behind you. Let's see here. 5, 12, and the jelly got a 3. At the top of the order, Quinn realizes you've stopped for some sort of odd reason. He kind of peers past you.
Can I, as a reaction to seeing this thing... God, because I have a plan, but I can't enact it until my turn. But how do I let Quinn know what my plan is without him getting in the way?
I'm gonna say, okay, well, what I'm gonna do, because I'm a kind and benevolent DM, is I'm gonna let Quinn just kind of see the monster and say, Mr. Copper, you're kind of in my way, you're leading this thing, go for it. And he's gonna hold his turn.
Okay. Cool.
So, it's your turn. This thing,
it's my turn? Did it roll less than me?
It rolled a 3, I told you that.
God damn.
This thing is 20 feet away from you.
20 feet away from me?
And in an odd way, even though it doesn't have a face or eyes, you know it sees you. If it doesn't see you, it senses you. and it's ready to glob you to death.
You said it's 20 feet away?
Yes.
Then I'm going to move 10 feet closer to it.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask Quinn to back up a little bit if he can.
Sure. I'll say Quinn was. How far does he need to be? He needs to not be in 15.
Yeah.
I'll say he was 6 feet away.
Okay. And then I'm going to cast
good
Thunder
safe
Wave.
COVID distance. Thunderwave. Okay. This thing needs to make a dexterity or constitution?
Constitution.
That is a natural 11 plus 2 is 13.
It doesn't succeed. And so it takes 8 damage. 8, I think it's thunder damage?
Yeah,
right?
it's not lightning.
And then it gets pushed 10 feet away from me.
Okay. This thing just slides. It kind of leaves a trail of this nasty goo along the floor. Quinn, you just hear a thunk on the ground. He says, "Spread your legs, Mr. Copper." And you instinctively spread your legs. He fires a crossbow bolt only a few inches off the ground, very low, at this thing. And he only rolls a 10. This thing actually has an AC lower than 10, so he hits.
Hell yeah.
And he deals 8 damage himself as he
Nice.
fires this crossbow.
So if this were me, this thing would be dead.
Nice. Yes, it would. It's this jelly's turn. It sludges slowly towards you, and it only has 10 feet of movement. You're 20 feet away, so it has to dash just to get in front of you, and that's its turn. So it's just slow. You're in 6 seconds. You watch this thing just slowly make its way towards you. It's Quinn's turn again, since he held his turn.
Yeah.
Same move. He fires at it again. Hits. 5 more damage. And you have no idea if this thing looks good or not. It's just a black, gooey, ooey, nasty mass. But it is your turn.
Regardless, I'm going to strike it with my mace.
All right.
That's a 15 to hit.
15 to hit. Hits.
That is 4 points of damage.
It's looking worse for wear. You see a little glob of it kind of knock off of its top. And this thing just kind of leans back in an odd way and kind of swings its whole body at you. That is an 11 to hit you, which is
11
a miss.
does not hit me, yeah.
You ever try to pick up Jell-O with a spoon?
Oh, I thought you were going to say with, like, my hands.
No, with a spoon. You kind of move your wrist a little bit, and the Jell-O flops right off, and there's not, like, even, like, a smidgen of Jell-O on the spoon, like, somehow it just all fell off. That happens to your arm. This thing just kind of slaps onto you and slaps right back off. Quinn stands up, and he says, "I got an idea." He is going to make an athletics check. You feel Quinn's little arms and legs trying to scramble up you. He was obviously trying to climb either on top of or over you. He kind of slides back down. You feel his face kind of scrunch up against your butt cheeks for a moment. He kind of stumbles backwards and he says, "Plan didn't work." You know what? That's just going to be his turn. It's back to you.
I say, "It's okay, Quinn. I have a plan myself. And that plan is to just smack this fucker once more."
All right.
I'm going to try and hit that motherfucker. It's a natural 19. So,
all right, perfect.
And then that does 5 more damage. No,
nice.
3 damage, sorry.
Okay. Well, still, you're wearing this thing down. Another glob of Jell-O pops off of it, and its belly now kind of expands outwards and tries to hit you right in your crotch.
So I know this isn't what it's supposed to look like at all, but I'm imagining I'm fighting like a giant flubber.
Yeah, I mean, similar. Definitely similar. And Robin Williams is somewhere scrambling to find it. Rest in peace, brother. Okay, this thing actually hits you. And you take 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage?
Yeah. So
Jesus.
the force of it hitting you in the crotch just kind of hurts, and then you feel a burning just on your inner thighs as this thing has left some acidic residue on you. And you realize you are in immense pain as some of your flesh starts to burn. Quinn, actually, I don't know why I completely forgot about this. He has halfling nimbleness. He can move through you without an action or any
Do you
sort
know how
of...
nice that would have been to, know?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. That's bad DM. You know what? I'll give him 2 attacks. He slides betwixt your legs like a pony. He hits twice, and he's about to do 4d4 damage on this guy.
What a little badass dude.
Quinn absolutely obliterates this thing. He moves through it. It just sprints at the what's the word I'm looking for? At the sound. Jesus, I forgot the word sound. At the sound of your screams of pain, your loyal little sidekick dashed between your legs, like sliding into a base and like, right in a home plate. He slides through this thing with his fists extended outwards, and it explodes, and it is dead.
Quinn, that was impressive, I must say.
He looks up and he kind of wipes the jelly off of himself, and he says, "Mr. Copper, all I've got to say to you is 2-1, baby."
Oh, because of the Manticore? Okay, I understand. I didn't realize we were keeping count, but...
Just a little bit of rivalry, just something fun for us boys to keep track of.
Just a little bit of...
banter. Just a little bit of banter between the boys.
Yes, of course.
So, you see, off in the distance of this secret tunnel, there is a room. You see a door, kind of cracked open, and there's a room straight ahead. What do you do?
I'm going to make a perception check to see if there are any traps.
Okay.
Because I...
Make me an investigation check, actually.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Investigation.
And I'll have Quinn look. Quinn's going to offer you the help action. Roll with advantage.
With advantage? Okay. That's going to be 17.
There are no traps.
Nice. Well, Quinn, I think there might be some treasure here. If this was a secret tunnel, and this is a secret room, what usually lies in secret rooms?
Treasure. Absolutely, Mr. Copper.
Onward and inward, I say.
You lead, the two of you swing this door open. The room you're in is partially collapsed. You can kind of tell that. But in the wreckage of that collapse, there's a faint glimmer of gold as you see the lock on a box of treasure.
Jackpot. I don't have any lockpicks, though.
Quinn says, let me just try and punch it. I mean, so what you're looking at is a padlock.
Yeah.
Bradley has a basic understanding of physics. This lock, with enough force and leverage, will open. So it's not a lock embedded in the chest, if that makes sense.
Okay. So it's just okay.
Gwen punches the top of the box, completely missing the lock. All right, Mr. Copper, it's your turn. You try.
I mean, I guess we could smash the box. I don't know about the contents inside, but it would open it for us. I'm going to try and hit it. I'm going to try and hit it with my mace to see if I can specifically just the the lock. I'm gonna try and hit. That's a natural 1.
And you swung what, your mace?
Yeah, my mace.
You slam your mace into the ground, and your mace is actually now going to have a -1 penalty on it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You look at it, and there's like a huge dent in the thing. Like it's like you pull it back up. It's not weighted well now. Your mace just got fucked up. And Quinn kind of looks at you and says, "All right, Mr. Copper, just give me a moment here." He struggles.
It's okay. I can take it to the Smithian town, get it fixed up. I have some gold.
He says, "Great, Mr. Copper." He goes to the chest. It takes him about 30 minutes. You kind of just sit and pout about your mace. He finally manages...
Can 30 minutes be counted as a short rest? Can I do some...
Oh, absolutely. Let's say it takes an hour. Yeah, go ahead and take a short rest.
Okay.
You have 2 hit die to spend.
Because I'm going to do them both.
And remember to add your constitution modifier.
I think I have a +0 to my constitution, so...
Nice.
That's going to be +7. Nice.
Okay, cool. So you're what, back up to 14 out of 16?
Yeah, 14 out of 16.
That's decent.
Yeah,
you're not on death's door.
I mean, I wasn't on death's door before. I just...
But now you're even you're 3 steps away from death's door instead of 2.
Yeah.
While you take a quick nap, Quinn messes with this lock. You wake about an hour later to the sound of a satisfying click. You look, Quinn's sweating.
Yes, Quinn, excellent. You did it. I am very proud of you.
He says, "All right, well, let's see what's in here." He pops open the chest, and inside you find 2 things. The first one is 3, I know, pretty crazy, 3 gold coins. And then also, I need you to roll me a D100.
A D100. Okay,
D100.
I'm going to do this on... How do you do... I'm going to do this on the website, so you're not going to be able to hear the die roll, but...
Okay.
That is going to be a 44.
44. You find a spell scroll for the cantrip Firebolt. So you will cast that. You will not use your normal charisma modifier. You would use your intelligence because you're using a scroll. I think that's how that rule works. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, someone tweet at me. And Firebolt is 1d10 fire damage.
My mace got a dent, and you spent an hour and got all sweaty and greasy and grimy, which of course we were going to do that anyway, for 3 gold and a scroll.
Mr. Copper, I don't know what to tell you. It's almost like your DM used random magic tables to determine how much was in here.
It seems like a bit of bad will building on his part, but oh well.
Yeah, Mr. Copper, it's almost like he didn't build a world, but he's running a pre-written modular module, as is the entire premise of the podcast that you're on right now. He says, sorry, I think I was just speaking tongues. I don't know what I just said.
Yes, I'm not... Are you sure you were speaking the common tongue? I didn't quite understand any of that.
That was all odd. That was all very, very odd. Why don't we keep moving? We got the rest of a dungeon to explore.
Yes, let's... Alas, no treasure for now.
The 2 of you end up eventually back in the
temple room.
The temple room. Looking around, the ceilings are about 20 foot high and flat, which is surprising because this is a dwarven temple, but I mean, it's huge. It's huge in here. There are these 4 pillars. There's no light in here except for the torch that Bradley's holding. Not your Bradley. That Quinn's holding.
What spell is Firebolt?
It's a cantrip.
Oh, it's a cantrip?
Which literally, you have a hat that lets you try and cast a cantrip.
I have a hat that lets me do that anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't a great find, but c'est la vie. I need you to make me a perception check, and there are 3 different DCs here. So you can succeed lots of ways.
I got a +4 to my perception, right?
Yeah,
So I rolled
fifth
a
time you said it.
Yeah,
Ninth time you said it.
I've got a 19 on my perception then.
19. Do you want to know... You get to pick two of these things. Secret A, Secret B, or Secret C?
Let's go Secret B and Secret C.
Okay. As you're walking around, you inspect for whatever reason. Maybe you're not even inspecting. Maybe you just happen upon it. One of these pillars, maybe you comically lean against it. There was a small hidden door in this pillar. As you lean against it, it kind of opens up, and 15 bright pink gemstones fall out onto the floor. They scatter across the floor. Quinn looks down at you and he says, Mr. Copper, remember when I was talking about how we might find something little expensive in here?
Yes.
Yeah, we might have just found it.
Ugh. Happy day.
I'm going to say you, as is the case... Oh, with the 3 gold, how much did you add to your inventory?
I'm just gonna let Quinn take the 3 gold.
Okay, perfect. Well, because you let him take the 3 gold, he has no idea how much these gemstones are worth, so he gives 10 to you and takes 5 for himself. And since you found them.
Do you know what kind of gemstones they are, so I can add them to my inventory, or do you just want me to write down 10 pink gemstones?
These gemstones are worth...
Should I do some kind of check, I guess?
No, don't do a check. We're going to leave it as a surprise. These gemstones aren't magical in any way. That's the only thing you notice.
Okay.
They're just bright and shiny and look like they could be sold for a high price. But I'll let it be a surprise how much you're going to make off of these until you get back to town. All right, you also figured out Secret C. You walk up to this altar, and this altar, it's just this, large rectangular stone altar. You give it a push, just because you've seen a few Indiana Jones movies in your day. It slides backwards, and surely enough, just as you thought it might, it reveals a secret staircase leading downwards. Bad news for you. You didn't reveal Secret A. An ochre jelly drops from the ceiling and lands on top of you.
Oh, is that Secret A? Was the ochre jelly?
Yeah, dealing you 6 points of damage.
Fuck.
I need you to go ahead and roll for initiative. Oh, Quinn rolled like shit.
Well, let's hope I roll better. I rolled a 13.
13, Jelly's going first. And what's your HP right now?
8. It's half.
Alright, you're at 8.
Yeah.
Got you. This ochre jelly now just plopped on top of you, sees Quinn just a few feet below the stairs, and just kind of awkwardly lunges at him. Misses him. Swings and misses. Quinn kind of reels backwards and starts sidestepping this thing, and he says, Mr. Copper, we've got a nutter on our hands.
I think it's on my back, not my hands, but that's quite alright.
Wow, good one. What do you do, Bradley?
I'm gonna try and get out from under this ochre jelly.
Oh no, it kind of bounced off of you. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, it bounced.
Okay. It lunged.
I thought
it
it
lunged
was
at
just
Quinn.
laying on top of me.
No, it lunged at Quinn.
And now I sound like an idiot because. Never mind. Well, I'm going to stand up and attack it with my mace.
Okay, so -1 penalty
for...
to your roll. So like whatever you would normally add, like if you added +5, just add +4.
I got a 7.
7 total.
Yeah.
If you had that +1, it would have been an 8, and it would have hit.
See, I thought you were taking. I thought when you said -1, I thought you were taking 1 off of damage, not 1 off of the actual.
Oh, it's both. It's both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No problem. You're welcome. Quinn reels back and tries to punch this thing. Quinn rolled a 2. He squishes his hand into it and back out, and it lunges at him once more. Quinn gets hit. Quinn does not get hit. Quinn's AC is 16, not 15. This thing slaps against him and bounces back, and it's your turn again.
I will not let this damned jelly be the end of us, Quinn. Ugh! It's not gonna hit.
What is it?
It's a 4 plus 2, so 6.
Rough. Quinn says, "You're right. I won't let this be the end of us." Remember, you have Bardic Inspiration you can give out, too. You have a lot of those. Quinn rolled a 3 now. So, but Quinn adds enough to hit. Even with a 3. That's incredible. He does 6 damage to this thing as finally he connects to it.
Impressive.
And the Ochre Jelly is not having luck hitting Quinn, right? So it might as well attack you again. It turns back. I'm going to say he's at the bottom of the stairs, you're at the top of the stairs. This thing's right in the middle. And it doesn't need to turn or anything. It's just swinging towards you instead of towards him.
How big is this thing?
4 foot wide, 4 foot tall.
So would it be considered small or medium?
It is... It says large ooze. It doesn't say if it's small or medium. Which would you rather it be?
I mean, if it says large ooze, then that means it's a size large.
Oh, well, then boom, it's size large.
That's
even
so
though
interesting.
Even though it's so small.
It doesn't matter. You said, did it hit me?
No, it did not.
It didn't hit me, so it's my turn. I'm going to... I can't give myself Bardic Inspiration. It says that right there. So I'm going to say to Quinn, you seem to be the more competent fighter between the two of us, and I mean that. I mean that. Genuinely.
He says, I agree.
And that's my inspiration. That's my Bardic Inspiration.
He's inspired by that.
I'm gonna try and hit this stupid fucking jelly once more. Okay, finally it's a dirty 18.
That hits.
Nice. Fucking finally. It's a 6.
6 damage. Did you take one off of that too?
Yeah, so with my mace I get 1d6 plus 1, so now I'm just doing 1d6.
Okay. You know what I just realized also?
What?
I'm going to roll more damage. Quinn would have hit with a natural 2 when he rolled it before. So he actually has done 6 more damage to it as well. I'm just struggling as a DM right now about these bonuses, and I really just need to know Quinn's character better.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it.
Yeah, wow, such a piece of shit.
It also kind of sounds like, it's the middle of the night for us right now, so.
That's true. It is very late. Quinn hits again, does 4 more damage to this guy. Just punches him one more time. It's the Ochre Jelly's turn. It's going to attack you. And an 11 is a miss. This thing cannot connect since it's smushed you. So it's back to you.
I'm gonna go for it again.
All right.
I'm getting fed up with these fucking jellies. This is the second one. I've only ever had to fight one thing at a time, and now I have to fight 2 all of a sudden? What the fuck is up with that? That's gonna be a 15 plus 2 is 17.
That's a hit.
That's gonna be 6 damage again.
I just rolled for Quinn, and I rolled a natural 1. And Quinn's a halfling. So he rerolls natural 1s.
Yeah.
He has plus 6 to hit, and this ooze has 8 AC, so he really never needed that Bardic Inspiration. Because if he rolls a 2, he hits. If he rolls a 1, he rerolls. So, reroll. I rolled a 2, plus 6 is a hit, and Quinn does 7 damage to this thing. It's looking messed up, but it's not going down without a fight.
Well, if we happen to fight a boss within the next 10 minutes, it'll be good.
Absolutely. This Ochre Jelly slams into Quinn, finally hitting him. He takes 12 points of damage. knocking him down to 7 HP. All of a sudden, Quinn lets out a brief, Mr. Copper! It's slapped into his face, and his face is starting to burn with this acid.
Oh, fuck.
He's beginning to claw at it with his gauntlet. He all of a sudden went from powerful fighter to scared, and he's in need of your help, and it is your turn.
I say, Quinn, don't mess with it. I'll get it once I'm done with this. And I try to hit the ochre jelly one more time.
Okay.
It's a natural 1.
You kind of just slide your mace down the ochre jelly's side, and the mace begins to erode, and now you're looking at this weapon, and it is just about fucking useless.
You're fucking with me, right?
No.
God
It looks absolutely useless. And
Fuck.
I'm gonna say it's got a -4 penalty to it right now.
There's no fucking point in using it. There's literally no point in using it. Bonus action, I'm going to say, Quinn, I know it hurts. I believe in you. I believe that we can overcome this ochre jelly. I believe that we can overcome the shitty luck we've been having in this dungeon thus far, including, but not limited to, my messing up of my own weapon and that shitty-ass treasure chest we found. Here you are. And I cast Healing Word on him.
Okay.
Giving him 6 HP.
Nice. Okay. You see some of the acid start to just disappear, and he looks at you, gives you a solemn nod, and swings a punch. Quinn deals 7 damage to this thing. It looks absolutely terrible. There are chunks missing out of it left and right, but it's this thing's turn, and before it dies, Bradley, it's going to try to take you with it.
Of course it is.
That's a natural 1.
Everybody just has shitty-ass luck tonight.
It kind of tries to envelop you into this disgusting black ooze of its body. Go ahead and give me a reaction. I'm essentially giving you a riposte, a reaction attack against this thing.
Okay, I'm going to attack with my dagger.
Okay.
Because if I wanted to hit with my mace, I would have a -1 to hit anyway now.
Okay.
So that's a 21 to hit.
All right, roll that damage.
That's 6 damage.
You rip the dagger into it. If the dagger is slashing damage, I'm going to ignore that and say it's piercing. You pierce through this thing. It just kind of rips into this jelly. Whatever life essence this thing had left just completely disappears. You pull the dagger back out, and the ooze sinks into a black puddle.
A dagger does piercing damage anyway.
Perfect. That's good, because slashing splits the jellies. You have sunk in this thing, killed it, and Quinn looks at you and he says, "That's right, Mr. Copper, now it's 2-2.
I'm not even excited. I just kind of look at my fucked up ass mace. And I say, my father had this specially made for me when I told him I wanted to become an adventurer. Oh well, and I just kind of toss it onto the floor. Let's go onward.
Make me an insight check.
An insight check?
On Quinn, yeah.
Insight I get a +3. And perception I get a +4 in case anyone was wondering. I rolled a natural 1 for insight, so...
Quinn probably thought that was funny, that the specially made mace for your dad is gone now.
That piece of shit.
Quinn looks at you and he's like, "Ha, fuck your dad."
That little fucker.
I
say, such is life, eh? Nothing lasts forever.
He kind of nods at that, and you see he resonates with that. And he says, "You're right, Mr. Copper. Nothing lasts forever." and you kind of feel like Quinn gets it. It's like, shit, man. That, so it goes.
Yeah.
He says, Mr. Cropper,
Or
maybe
as the dwarves would say, c'est la vie.
Right, I love Dwarvish language. The two of you descend down these steps you just found. And you go through a hallway.
Were there any other paths in the temple room?
There are some other paths. For the DMs listening who want to run this adventure, they all lead to these collapsed rooms with nothing in them. It's just a big waste of your time and ours. The secret tunnel is one thing, and then this secret stairwell leading down is the other that you want to hit. You find a skeleton. It's a dwarvish or a dwarven skeleton in this hallway, and there is a holy symbol.
No!
It's a dwarven priest. He's in this rotted red leather armor. It looks like he was crushed to death as part of this hallway kind of collapsed in on him. But he has a holy symbol of Abathor around his neck. I should have made you make an insight check for that, but Abathor is... religion.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Once again,
that amulet's looking at me kind of funny. I don't know.
It is late. Okay, I'll say this: you recognize it's Abathor. Make me a religion check.
Okay. 4.
You don't know what Abathor is.
I'm gonna take the amulet and I'm gonna pocket it.
Okay. There's some writing on it.
And for the dwarves, though, I'm just gonna give it to them. Say, I found this. I figured it's important to you. Whenever we get back to them.
Okay. Do you speak Dwarvish?
I might speak Dwarvish. I think I do, because one of my friends is a dwarf.
Right. Yeah. Braff.
Yeah. Hold on. Fuck. Where would I find that again? Oh, proficiencies in language. Duh. Yeah, I speak Common, Dwarvish, and Elvish.
Nice. That is very convenient for where you are. On the amulet, it reads in Dwarvish, "Greed is good." You walk into this large underground room that you found yourself in from these stairs you found. In the adventure, for DMs listening, it says to reach this room, the characters...
Here's a question that I have for DMs listening. If none of the players had rolled a perception high enough to find this secret passage, what would you do to counteract that?
I mean, one thing... Well, so there's... I think... Let's look at this map. There's actually another way to find yourself in here. So you could make them roll 2 perception checks. Because there's also a secret door that leads around into a tunnel, yada yada, all the way into there. So that's one thing. I mean, the biggest thing is if you want people to really find something, just make them find it, right? Like, you don't have to be bound by... You don't have to make them make a perception check at all if you don't want. Or get the entire party... to make the perception check and and if someone gets a 15, say DC 15, you did it, right? And a 15 is not that hard to get if you got somebody who's got decent perception. But then also some DMs...
What wise words of wisdom.
Glad you like that. And some DMs, they don't mind when people don't find that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, you didn't find it. You didn't find everything in the dungeon. Sucks to suck. So, for the DMs listening, this does say, in this E11 Hall of Greed, to reach this room, the characters must clear away the rubble that seals it off, which takes a single character 40 hours. Multiple characters working together can reduce... 40
hours?
Yeah.
God
so
damn.
It would take you and Quinn 20 hours. That's just so unnecessary, and I don't like it.
That's fucking ridiculous. What the fuck?
I don't like it at all. So I'm going to say it takes you an hour. There's some rubble. You clear it out.
I was going to say, I would be like halfway through that shit. Bradley would definitely be like, is this worth it?
Yeah,
Should
exactly.
we even be doing this right now?
So there's an alcove in the south wall of this large hall you find, and it has the rubble of a shattered statue within it. An alcove to the north holds a statue of a dwarf with horns, and it's staring at a glowing green gem in its hand. I need you to make me an insight check.
So an actual insight check this time, not a...
Insight, actual insight.
Okay. That's going to be 20, not natural.
20. The insight on this thing is the dwarf is looking at this gem with greed in its eyes. It's a statue, but you know whoever carved it, the expression they wanted to convey was greed off of this thing's face. And you also remember reading greed is good on that amulet. So now what you have to piece together, Bradley, is greed good in the way that you should try and take that gem? Or is greed good in the way that that dwarf is greedy, and therefore his greed of his gem that he's holding needs to be left alone? And Quinn looks at the gem and says, Mr. Copper, that looks to be about, I don't know, 3 times as much as the gem we already found.
Yes, but the question is, should we take it?
Well, if my understanding of dungeons is at all educated, the pros to taking it would be it's worth a lot of money and we could sell it. The cons would be it's a trap and we die.
Yes, that would be that. You know that from a very black and white standpoint, that would make sense. That's pretty good game design. But what of the real world implications here? Why do the dwarves have this statue? Should we go ask them?
They might not know nothing about it.
Yeah, this was a hidden passage.
I mean, they said they couldn't even excavate the place because of the jellies, you know.
Can I do an investigation or a perception or something to see if there are any jellies around?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're looking for jellies, make me perception. If you're checking to see if the statue is trapped, make me investigation.
Can I do both, just like one after the other?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say though, taking that time, if there is a jelly in here and you didn't notice it, it would definitely attack you.
Well, I'm gonna go perception first.
Okay.
I got a 21.
And sorry, what's your perception bonus?
Oh, it's a +4. I don't know if you knew that.
No, it's perfect. 21. There is not a single jelly in here. There were only 2 in this entire dungeon, and you cleared it.
Oh, wow. Cool. So, Oh, fuck.
He dropped
my die.
He dropped his die.
Sorry. So, investigation. It's a 9.
Probably not trapped.
Why am I doing so well on these rolls that end up not fucking mattering?
You know what? With a 9, it's like, oh god, it's so tempting. It's like almost definitely
No.
trapped.
Don't do it. Don't do it. This is the experience.
Quinn looks at you and says, "Are we going to go for that gem or no?"
I am going to walk up to the statue. Would you consider this gem secured?
Within the hand?
Yeah.
Not particularly. You see that all the fingers of the statue are kind of cupping it, not wrapped around it.
Okay, then I'm going to cast Thunderwave to knock the gemstone out of the hand of this dwarf.
Okay, you cast it. The gem breaks free from the statue. In an instant, you see the gem crumble to dust. The statue shakes in less than a second. It explodes. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Dex save. I'm proficient in those, so let's hope I do well. I didn't. I got a 7.
What was Bradley's HP before he walked in here?
This is 8.
The gem fades to dust. Quinn leaps back from startlement. The statue explodes into shatters and daggers of stone. They tear across your face and chest as Bradley takes 18 points of damage, hits the ground, and everything goes black. Modular is Thorin George as Bradley Copper, and Luke Job as our DM. The story you heard today, as well as 99% of the characters, were created by Wizards of the Coast and can be found in the module Dragon of Icespire Peak. Our music today was written and performed by Max Hedman. You can find Max's music anywhere you listen to your music, and you can find his website link in the description of this episode. You can follow us on Twitter at ModThePod, join our private Facebook group at the Modular Podcast Fan Club, follow us on Instagram at The Modular Podcast, and subscribe to us on YouTube at The Modular Podcast. Here's a quick shout out to Balin Burleson, Raven Walker, and Megan Sussman, who all follow us on Twitter. And if you want to shout out just like them, maybe you should follow us on Twitter too. Really though, it would mean a lot to us. If you like the show, please just tell one person that you know. Tell a friend, tell a family member, someone you know that likes Dungeons & Dragons, and maybe they would be interested in listening to this show. Because right now, we are pouring our hearts and souls into this thing, and we just want people to like it. And so if you like it, share it to someone you like, and then the likes just keep liking until they're all liked out. New episodes come out every Tuesday, and until then, thank you for listening to Modular.